Hello everyone, welcome to another Sillytails Reviews. Today we are talking about Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. This was reviewed on a PS5 Pro and will be absolutely spoiler free. Ninja Gaiden is having a fantastical renaissance in the year 2025. In February, we were treated to a stealth drop of Ninja Gaiden 2 Remastered. In October, we're being blessed with Ninja Gaiden 4. And in between those two releases, we have our topic of discussion, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Unlike the other two games mentioned, Ragebound harkens back to the old school era of Ninja Gaiden's inception back in 1988. This is a stylized 2D level-based hack and slash game that is as brutal as its legacy. The story of Ragebound does not have you controlling the legendary ninja Ryu Hayabusa. Instead, you are slashing your way through a horde of demons and monstrosities as his apprentice, Kenji. The story actually starts with you playing as Joe Hayabusa, Ryu's father on the fateful night of his demise. Fast forward a little and now the timeline is running parallel to the events of Ninja Gaiden 1 from 2004, where Ryu is called into action by the CIA to go to America and stop the demon threat there. Kenji is tasked with guarding the Hayabusa dojo, and very quickly after Ryu's departure, all hell breaks loose, literally. And Kenji must venture forth to stop the 4 demon lords from opening a portal to hell and letting out the Demon King. Very quickly into his journey, Kenji finds himself at death's door and can only be saved by teaming up with Kumori, a Koinichi from the rival Spider Ninja clan. He does so very begrudgingly, and the two form a pact and a friendship throughout the rest of the game. I do not want to say too much more because the story is actually pretty interesting and has some really cool moments. The gameplay of Ragebound is extremely fast, frantic, and tense. You will progress through the story via a level select. Each level has 3 challenges associated with it of varying difficulty. The challenges can range from kill X amount of enemies, to jump attack X amount of times, to the absurdly challenging complete the level without dying. There's also a time limit, kill limit, and a combo number that you need to hit in order to get the coveted S rank on a mission. Also, in order to get the S rank, you need to find all the collectibles in a level while acing all of those challenges. There are golden scarabs and crystal skulls to find scattered throughout the levels that you can use to purchase talismans and rage arts from the legendary Muramasa. The talismans that Muramasa gives you are super varied and overwhelming even. I never knew which ones to equip, so I stuck with the same 2 that you get super early on. One that gives you a little bit of health back for every kill, and one that heals you fully at checkpoints. On the topic of checkpoints, they are very well placed in this game, and I never felt frustrated when I died because usually I could get right back to where I was just moments ago very swiftly. Usually there are 3 scarabs and 3 crystal skulls to find, with the occasional scroll that gives you a new rage art to use in combat. The rage art is a once a level mega attack that I would always save for the boss to do a good chunk of damage to. The collectible hunt is quite fun, and nothing is too terribly hard to find. You are looking for small crawl spaces or breakable walls and should have no problem finding all the collectibles without a guide. The moment-to-moment action though is where a game like Ragebound should shine. You control Kenji and Kumori simultaneously, and Kenji attacks with X and square on the PlayStation controller, and Kumori with triangle and circle. Kenji has bounce attacks and slash attacks, and Kumori throws shurikens and has a wide range of defensive and offensive tools to use, but they are limited on a meter that refills upon every landed sword strike from Kenji. I did really feel that the combat lacked any depth though. Most of these levels are meant to be completed in about 5 minutes or so, and as such, you are killing enemies in 1 normal attack or 1 charged attack, while maintaining forward momentum. I know that is keeping in spirit with the original games, but I wish that the combat had more flexibility and just a little more oomph. The boss fights though are an absolute highlight. Extremely difficult, but they never felt unfair. I would die upwards of 10 times or more on a fight, but it was always because of my lack of patience or understanding of the boss's attack patterns. Once you learn what to do and when to attack, you can easily beat every boss without so much as a scratch on you. To me, the main highlight of the game is in its graphical presentation and level design. The 2D environments and backdrops were absolutely breathtaking at times. Whether you were slaughtering your way through a burning ninja village, crossing sky-high scaffolding in a construction zone, or riding on a helicopter, jet ski, or jeep through a super fast-paced vehicle segment, I was always in awe at how varied and beautiful this game was. There are also 8 secret ops levels that have you retread old stages but with a new twist on them. These stages were by a mile the hardest in the game. No section with Kenji was very difficult, but there are numerous sections where you control Komori in these timed platforming sections that made me want to rip my hair out. You are on an insanely strict time limit and have to move as fast as possible, making little to no mistakes. There are plenty of enemies and obstacles to get in your way, and if you fall, you have to restart or if you run out of time. You can get more time by hitting little blue orbs in the environment, and you must, otherwise you will not reach the end of these levels. The only thing these levels hold at the end of their masochistic gauntlet is a collectible. So if you're not trying to 100% the game, you can, and I encourage you to, skip these. A little side note, the music that accompanies every level is one of the biggest highlights of the game. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is a fantastic return to the olden days of brutally hard yet simple games. You'll have your skill tested on every single level, especially if you're going for the S ranks. Kenji and Kumari are fantastic characters, and I hope they make it into the next Dead or Alive or some other game. The game has a super brief runtime. I wound up rolling the credits in only 5 hours. I do want to try and go for the Platinum Trophy, which should give me a few more hours of game. At its super low price tag, it is still a hard game to recommend though, unless you are someone who is really looking for a challenge and have the kind of mentality that you will overcome any obstacle no matter how tough. My final verdict on this game, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. The pros of the game are absolutely the characters, the graphics, the bosses, and the stage design. For me, the cons were there was no difficulty option, it was a bit short, and there was almost little to no gameplay variety whatsoever. Thank you all so much for watching this. If everyone likes what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing. I'm going to wind up doing a lot of reviews over the course of this year and many more years to follow. I'm going to be doing RoboCop next and then Mafia: The Old Country after that. I am a small creator and I genuinely appreciate every single person that is viewing this. If you comment, I'll comment back right away. I would love to discuss this game with you and any other game that I review. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great day.